Welcome to Nerd Nation Talking Stuff. I'm here with the usual crew of Ginger Greek, Roberto, and Christine Black. Now, I got a couple of things I want to talk about initially. I'm sure we all do. I'm not going to start off this time. I'm going to actually start off with Roberto. Roberto, what would you like to talk about?
I don't know.
Awesome.
Great stuff.
You're the host.
Toes.
You're the hostage. I mean, come on.
The hostage?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, fine. Okay, I want to just get this one out of the way then. It's just straight off the mark, yeah. I'm very happy that, first of all, Ginger Greek has also been watching this show called Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is basically a continuation of the Karate Kid. It's basically about Daniel and Johnny and their lives 35 years later after the first movie, and where they are now and how their lives are kind of intertwined. They're constantly having to deal with each other. After watching both the first two seasons, it kind of made me realize that sometimes we don't need to reboot stuff, because they rebooted the Karate Kid before they did this series. They rebooted that Jaden Smith shit, and it was bloody kung fu. It was an absolute disgrace of a movie, in my opinion, to call a film The Karate Kid and make it about kung fu. I mean, the cultural insensitivity of that movie is beyond scales. But this was much better. Fuck the reboot. They did a continuation. Obviously, these guys are a lot older now. They're in their fucking 50s, but they look really great. And it was really good. It felt nostalgic watching a show which is continuing where it left off, with these particular guys, all these old tropes from the first three movies. I absolutely loved it. I love the fact that this show is also not just relying on this nostalgia, but it is trying to continue to develop, to sow its seeds for future generations, and I thoroughly appreciated that and enjoyed it. And it kind of made me realize: should we, look for reboots every time shit goes wrong, or should we just stick with it and continue going with it? Or does the continuation process only really work with good stuff? And if you come back to it years later, it'll still be good. What's your guys' thoughts?
Well, obviously, I've only just started watching the show, and I'm loving what I'm seeing so far. Thoroughly enjoying it. With regards, it all depends on the premise. It all depends on what it is. So when you have shows, or let's say, for example, you have a classic film that it to its core, it has well-rounded characters with great character development, interesting. You want to know more about them. Then the continuation is a lot easier. When you have garbage like, say, the Transformers films, a total reboot is needed. So
No, actually, sorry, sorry, Jim. Well, what I wanted to try and get at as well is that this is a different sort of continuation. This is not like a sequel with every 2 or 3 years. We're talking like, instead of like restarting the Karate Kid again, they've actually continued with these same characters 35 years later. So is it sometimes, if Hollywood are not a bit short on ideas, maybe they can go back to a project which was successful and continue in today's time? Like they've done with Ash and the Evil Dead, for instance, which is one of my favorite shows. I'm not sure if you've seen that. That's a continuation.
And it just depends on the characters and if they're interesting and if the premise is interesting. Like, for example, Ash versus the Evil Dead was a great continuation.
Yeah, I loved every minute of it.
I think it's better when the continuation is able to be done on a TV or a streaming platform, more so because you're not going to be restricted by what your what the box office numbers are. All right, you're restricted with, say, ratings, for example, but TV is now in its golden age, and nobody scoffs at taking a classic film and then putting it to TV. Nobody scoffs at that, because you're still going to get high production values, and you're going to get more depth to the characters. I think something like Cobra Kai, it doesn't. The way they've done it is really good because it takes its time to really flesh out. It's a great continuation, and it's got both Daniel and I forget their fucking
Johnny.
got LaRusso and Johnny in there. I didn't realize that LaRusso was just as much a part of this as
Yeah.
Johnny was. So I think that's really good, and it just shows how things kind of changed and continued on. And I like the fact that they're not trying to make Johnny like this
Villain.
ultimate good guy or ultimate bad guy. It's just like, just
Damn, they got old.
they got old, but they still look amazing.
They're both in
Daniel
their
LaRusso
50s.
pushing 57.
He's
So
58, actually, I heard.
yeah, 58. So they look good.
The
So
guy's close to his fucking 60.
Well,
exactly.
well, whatever.
So
He's actually 2 years older than Johnny, funnily enough. The actor William Zabasca or something like that is
For
he's
real?
4 years younger.
56. Yeah, he's 2 years. Yeah, he's a few
Oh.
years.
4 years younger. But yeah, it just depends on the show. And just,
Because at the same time, you like they do a continuation. For instance, after 20 years, they did Indiana Jones 4, and well, we could even say not necessarily a continuation, but to a degree, but even the Star Wars prequels and sort of sequels, I guess. But for me, they haven't. Well, all right, Star Wars. Everyone's got their own opinion, but I'm pretty sure a lot of us didn't like Indiana Jones 4. No.
no, fucking awful.
And that was a continuation, and that wasn't a reboot, and it was the biggest fucking disgrace of all time. As somebody who's played Indiana Jones twice in Fancy Dress, but I love the character so fucking much. I was to say I was disappointed with that was beyond belief. This is why I'm so desperate for a fucking reboot, whether they'll do it or not. And I'm not sure if you noticed, Harrison Ford really gives a fuck about Indiana Jones. He doesn't give a fuck about Han Solo.
Yeah, it doesn't like Han Solo.
He doesn't like Star Wars in general. I think because of that, he doesn't like Han Solo. But he really cares. He really cares for Indiana Jones, which is why he wants nobody else to play him. Even though River Phoenix and that other kid in the Young Indiana Jones series has played him, he doesn't really want anyone to play him in a main role in the film, which is unfortunate because I would like to see more Indiana Jones movies of him in his prime. It's a great period. That sort of
the late 30s kind of period.
That sort of that time, where you had film stuff like The Rocketeer and what's it called, The Phantom and all that era. You know what I mean? I like that era. And you can mix up with mobsters and stuff like that. I want more of that. I don't want the 50s and the swinging 60s. I want that era. Where things were still being discovered. It's much better for me.
Yeah.
There's still things being discovered, dude. There's only one thing that hasn't been discovered yet.
What's that?
Your brain.
I fucking fell for that, dude. Oh god.
Jason, why has it got muted next to your mic?
Oh, just because I was managing the chat and it was going to make noise and stuff like that.
Fair enough.
He was
So you're
burping aggressively.
Now, I'm sorry to go on to video games here. Sorry, if you want me to.
Can I chime in on the continuation and reboot?
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you would. You got something to chime in? Please chime in.
Yeah. So I'll give you two really good examples of good continuations and good reboots. Obviously, Cobra Kai. I haven't been into it. I haven't watched it, but I've heard a lot of people say that that's really good. So obviously, that's a good continuation. In my opinion, you know what a good continuation was, and you guys are probably gonna laugh at me. Ghostbusters, the video game. That was our Ghostbusters 3 we deserved back in the 90s.
Yep.
Okay.
All the actors are really old, like now, but the video game, if you watch it as a movie, it actually ties all the movies together.
I can say I played it.
They do make good movies. Have you played the Telltale Back to the Future game?
I've not played the Telltale Back to the Future. I have played Telltale Batman and Telltale Guardians of the Galaxy.
Telltale Back to the Future is the unofficial Back to the Future 4. You want a Back to the Future, a good one with the heart of Back to the Future, you got it in that game. I swear to God. Some games make great movies. I've always said that, a lot of people are still coming in their pants over Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and it's good. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm not fucking drinking the Kool-Aid like everyone else regarding it, but personally, for me, the best Spider-Man film ever is the Spider-Man video game I played recently. Fantastic. The story for that was, just so much better than anything done by Sony when it came to what they put in the theaters. And sorry, anyone want to chime in before I bring up? I've got something else I want to mention as well regarding all the reboot continuation.
Regarding the comp, but what I was going to bring on the second half is that when you have reboots that are like the Girlbuster reboot, reboot.
They had Chris Hemsworth, man.
No. And I, believe it or not, I actually like that movie. I like the Girlbuster movie.
I know it sounds stupid, but Chris Hemsworth.
Okay, well I know you like the
movie. I wasn't paying attention.
Anyway,
the funny thing is, sorry, go on, Roberto.
I like that movie, but I just feel like it got lost in the shuffle. And now the problem is that we're going to get this Ghostbusters 3 continuation where they're all old and they're all trying to pass the torch, but it's going to feel so forced. And I really don't want it. Like, I really don't.
I don't want it.
Harold Ramis is gone. Bill Murray's checked out. Dan Aykroyd's probably the only one who's left, and Reitman are the only ones that are probably going to put heart into it.
I was thinking Ernie Hudson would put heart into it, dude. He's a great actor.
I was thinking Ernie Hudson would probably put some heart into it too. But I mean, really, like, so if you, I feel like with the Ghostbusters, it's like you gotta reboot. And I mean, as I said, the Ghostbusters video game, to me, in my heart and soul, because I love Ghostbusters, that was my Ghostbusters 3. And the comment that someone made on Facebook, Barry, he says that the Ghostbusters game was the Ghostbusters 2 we deserved. Actually, we wouldn't have gotten the Ghostbusters game because a lot that happened in Ghostbusters, the video game, stemmed from Ghostbusters 2. And honestly, it wasn't as good as the original. Nothing's usually ever as good as the original, except for Captain America movies. But, theirs just kept getting better. But with Ghostbusters 2, I thought it was a decent continuation. And I think that the game wrapped up the trilogy really well. And I don't mind video games kind of taking things that we want to continue from the past and like bringing them to fruition. If there's something where like the actors are just too old, but they can voice act, well then let's do it. Heck, CGI is so good nowadays. Like we could do a full CGI movie that probably looks 100% real and have our completion of it. So that's it on me.
Yeah, I've got nothing to add to that. That's spot on, really.
Yeah.
You can't wait. Like with Ghostbusters, it's like you either had it in the mid to late 90s or you didn't do it at all and you reboot it. It's them going back, and like Indiana Jones is another one. I'm sorry, Harrison Ford is way too old. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like
you can't take it seriously.
Even if they continue it with his son or whatever they were going to do with Crystal Skull, they need to stop. Like I'm not, I like Harrison Ford, but it's like beating a dead horse.
I could look. Ford being in the 60s, a man in the 60s doing his shit was passable for me. But once he got into like they're doing the fifth one, he's gonna be in his 70s and stuff. It's just gonna be. I just can't take it seriously. I mean, they could. I always thought they might use some sort of trick by saying, because he drank from the cup of the Grail, he's able to still be really fit and all that shit. But no, they never really used that, unfortunately. But yeah, he's just too old. I love Harrison Ford. He's one of my favorite actors, but he needs to move on. I want to go back to the Batman Telltale game. It must be the Back to the Future Telltale game. It must be really cheap. Like I said before, it's your unofficial Back to the Future 4.
To be fair, shouldn't Indiana Jones just die? I'm in favor of letting things die. Like Indiana Jones, it has to die. Fast and Furious, it has to die. Star Wars
Indiana Jones
die.
can be just like James Bond.
Yeah,
he can be recast.
Yeah, James Bond has to die too. Fuck that
James
shit.
Bond's been recasted so many times, and James Bond kind of died in You Only Live Twice.
James Bond is just an outdated franchise, to be honest. It was fine when it was where it was. I mean, the Daniel Craig films, there've been some really good ones. But Daniel Bond, I was going to say, James Bond has kind of lost that essence that made it James Bond. It just doesn't fit today. People complain about every fucking aspect of the character and things like that. And I honestly thought like Jason Bourne was a good kind of passing of the torch, but they fucked that up.
I want Idris Elba to be the new James Bond. I think that would breathe life into that franchise.
Too old, dude. He's close to 50.
He's too old. He's too old, and I'll be honest with you, his last couple of performances have been phoned in a lot. You know, the only last thing of his I watched that I really enjoyed was it Birth of No Nation or something like that, where he's like an African warlord. Oh, it was brilliant in that, and Bastille Day, he was good in that. Other than that, it just kind of feels like he phones it in.
Part of the Hollywood machine.
I'm a huge Idris Elba fan. I like him as a person.
What you didn't like Idris Elba in Infinity War?
What's that?
You didn't like his performance in Infinity War? I call upon the ancient fathers to summon the dark magic once again.
Not really.
That's all he said. And then
it's not it wasn't like a standout role, you know. Anyone could have literally fucking.
Talking of dying franchises, have you guys seen the second trailer for Terminator 6?
Oh my god!
Now there's a continuation and a reboot, all in one movie, because this film is taking the Brandon Bruce Superman Returns route by going on a branch
of things that need to die.
What?
Oh, you cannot Arnold.
No, I have to admit,
I don't know, man. I'm really disappointed that we can't come up with new ideas for shows and movies, that we have to keep rebooting and continuing franchises that have been active for like 30 or 40 years. Like,
yeah, but here's the thing. It's kind of a societal problem, though. It's because a lot of these new franchises that are trying to get going fail. And
like Kingsman.
You know why they fail? Kingsman. For two reasons. One, because they suck, and two, because the fans suck.
I agree with
some of them are bad, Roberto. Some of them are terrible. Like the Dark Universe Universal tried to do is an absolute fucking joke.
Look, the sad reality is the facts speak for themselves. People just love familiarity. They just love the same thing wrapped in a different cloth. And this is why reboots and remakes always just keep getting done, because people don't want to invest in new things. It takes a lot
the same thing,
now
though,
for
dude,
people to,
you know?
Huh?
Like you know what they have? They have they keep making the same shit over and over.
Yeah, but
then as soon as they change something, it's shit. They changed it.
Exactly.
It's like you can't with these people.
You can't.
You know,
you have to just tread on familiar fucking territory. Unfortunately, you know, and that's it. Or just make it so mind-numbingly dumb that it's easy to follow along, that people don't have to think when they go and watch your film. Especially when it comes to like blockbusters and things like that, you know. So,
but here's another example of a reboot that I like that everybody hated, and I don't see why, is RoboCop. I don't know why everybody hated that new RoboCop movie.
I refuse to watch that show.
I haven't watched the old one.
PG-13, man. It's a fucking disgrace.
The concept kind of stupid.
You can't be doing RoboCop PG-13, man. That's a disgrace to.
You know what? You can't do something PG-13. Give me a break. You know what?
Dude, have you seen RoboCop?
Yeah.
That film is this reboot of RoboCop doesn't do it justice at all. I want to see people's brains getting blown off. I want to see limbs coming off. You know, I want to see blood and gore everywhere. You didn't get any of that in this RoboCop.
Okay, Sam, let me stop you right there. How old were you when the first RoboCop came out?
I don't know. I was young, so.
Well, don't you think that young people today also should have the right to watch some movies? Not Deadpool. Not
Wait,
Deadpool.
1 second. Hang on, because now
about?
we're going to enter into hypocritical territories.
I
Because
know.
what was suddenly right for me to watch at a young age, 7, 8 years old, Robocop being an 18 at the time,
Yeah.
same people that watch those films suddenly saying my kid can't watch that film, and this is why you end up in this PG bollocks that we end up with.
Yeah.
Because what was good for the goose wasn't good for the ganja. I've never
Yeah.
seen such bigger a hypocritical shift in my fucking life. I'm sorry
Mhm.
to jump in on this, but this is a huge issue. All right, everything that you are allowed to do with a kid, you no longer allow your kid to do, because you buy into whatever bollocks you've been fed in by the media. You think everything is to blame except for your shitty parenting and all of that. So
Well,
my
to be
nephews,
fair
my nephews,
though,
I introduced those kids when they were about my age. I introduced them to the stuff I used to watch,
Mhm.
Alien, Predator,
Yep.
Terminators, all of that kind of shit, and they fucking loved it. And there's nothing wrong with them. They're well adjusted. They're good kids. They've got a good education. All this kind of. So this is the problem. So there's no reason why my kid can't watch RoboCop, but the violent version of RoboCop. Why does it have to be PG? There's no
Yep.
there's no statistical evidence that it damages kids or all this kind of pish. So I think it's just parents being cowards. It's not
The
yeah.
first Star Wars movie, you had somebody's limb getting chopped off, and then you had mass genocide of a planet, and people still call that a kid's fucking film.
Yeah,
For fuck's
exactly.
sake, you know what I mean? It's so
Right.
hypocritical. You know,
I
Yeah.
mean, the dad
if
died
you're
in
gonna
Lion
do, if
King,
you're gonna
man.
do an 18 movie, if you're gonna reboot an 18,
Exactly.
and make sure it's still R-rated, make sure it's still
I just
18
put Disney on there.
to do justice to the material you're rebooting. Don't make it a kid's film. When you see Alex Murphy getting into that car and that's how he dies, compared to the horrific way he gets slaughtered and brutalized by Clarence's gang in the original, you can't compare that. You know what I mean? They were laughing at him as they blew up his hand and shit. It was shocking. It was horrifying. That's what makes it a great film. In this, he just walks into a car, jumps in his car, and the car blows up. Bollocks! It's a cop out. It's a cop out, man. Terrible movie making. I didn't like it at all. No, it's a 0 for me, Roberto. Crap film. It's a disgrace. I didn't mind it. Peter Weller's RoboCop is a legendary cult status classic. The reboot, no one will fucking remember it.
It's not even the reboot, mate. The 90s happened, and everyone wanted to make toys out of everything, so they pussified bloody RoboCop in the 90s.
Yeah. They did that with Rambo and shit.
Because toys were selling like crazy. Everything just was like, oh, we've got to gear it towards kids.
Yeah, Rambo became cool.
Like
RoboCop and Rambo, like 18, hardcore, R-rated content turned into a kids shit.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. So you want them to do the exact same thing? I mean, I get where you think it's a cop out. I get that, but you want it to be the exact same thing that it was in the 80s. You want like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't.
I want gore. I want it to be an adult film. It wasn't an adult film because
Dude, okay. Why is gore going to make it an adult film? Like, I don't think.
Well,
I think this is like juvenile, honestly. If you think that gore is what makes a film adult. No, it's not gore.
I'm not even going to begin this conversation with you. It's not even just gore. Swearing as well.
Sam,
swearing as well.
Up.
Like it's just mild, shitty swear words. I mean,
it's not about swear words and it's not about gore. It's about.
Chris, I'm 100% disagreeing with you. Before you finish your monologue, honestly, I totally disagree with you. Wait, and I find what you're saying very condescending towards me. I just don't like this film. It's a fucking pussified version reboot. I fucking hate it. And that's my fucking thing with it.
But you don't let me finish what I'm saying.
I know where you're going with it, but you're sounding so condescending. It's unreal.
No,
you know what I mean?
I don't know what I'm saying because you don't let me finish.
All right, go on.
Turning into Fox News.
What I'm saying is, what makes a film adult is touching upon concepts and ideas that makes you think. Gore is not adult, so I think that if there are brains blown up,
Sam, we're not going anywhere.
If there are brains blown up, I mean, that's a PG-13 movie for me. Like, okay, but if you are gonna touch on some other darker issues that make people think, that's an adult film. So the rating system is pretty much shit
Yeah.
because it's based on stupid shit like swear words and gore and nudity and sex. Fuck that.
Well, look, to be fair, I don't think films should be rated. I don't think they do not need a rating system. And that's just in place to make adults feel comfortable that they just threw their weight around to make to fucking stop their kids from watching something that they can easily watch on the bloody internet for no problem, like no issue. We don't need it. There's no evidence that it scars kids. You know, it was there back in the day because films that were coming out like The Exorcist and things like that were scaring the shit out of people because there was nothing like it before that. All right. And people just weren't comfortable with that. And then they
It's shock
make the
factor more than
assumption that
horror.
Yeah, now
kids
we're
aren't going to be
desensitized, to
comfortable.
be honest. So the
Yeah.
rating is really. I don't agree with the rating existing, but having like saying that that movie is this, and this, like there's gore, violence, sex, bad language, just not so much as a warning, but it's fucking cool, man. Like those stickers that you have on the CDs that says parental advisory or something. Those are cool.
I mean, but that's the thing. Exactly. It
That's
had
how,
the opposite
it's
effect.
marketing, man. That's how things
Yeah.
sell.
It had the opposite effect. So the funny thing is back in those days when you slapped a parental advisory on a hip hop album or a rock album, kids fucking bought the shit out of that. Their parents, like most parents, didn't fucking know what was going on. They're just like, yeah,
I
whatever,
know,
buy it.
yeah. That was the
You know,
best thing that happened.
it's like games that are geared towards like the mature ratings and all. It's fucking 12-year-olds playing it. You can hear them on the fucking mic. You know, and things like, and I've got no problem with that. Yeah, I literally like if I had kids, I would not restrict that. I'll just put it into context if needed. But I
Chris,
didn't need things put into context. I wasn't. We was exposed to so much. It just felt normal. You know, you didn't know that the film was 18 until I tried to go to the cinema and they said, no, you can't watch this. I'm like, but I saw the first one. It was an 18 kind of thing. Like, no, you can't. You have to be 8. It was like, oh, well, fuck off kind of thing. That's the only time it really hit me. Whereas you go to the video shop, even Terry, who used to own the video shop around the corner from us, he didn't give a shit. He's just like, yeah, take it, whatever. 18,
Yeah.
take it. Who cares a fuck, And
can you?
Not my
I'm
problem.
You guys look at the first two Indiana Jones films. I think Raiders of the Lost Ark and Temple of Doom are both PGs. Don't take my word for it. And
yeah,
those
but those came out now with their faces melting. They'd get an R rating.
faces melting. I mean, the beginning of Raiders, that guy's been, Alfred Molina gets impaled by those bloody spikes. You see his dead body there with spikes through it, all through his face and shit. They're dealing with Nazis for fuck's sake. And there's all types of stuff. You think maybe Marion's been blown to pieces. That guy gets his hand burnt. There's loads of people getting shot in the bar. He kills a guy in cold blood in a duel.
Because the restrictions
as well as the melting faces and the electricity in the second one. He kills that guy with the kebabs at the beginning of the movie, and you've got a guy getting his heart ripped out and shit, and getting eaten, and then Kalimar gets eaten by alligators and stuff like that, and probably a variety of other deaths I've missed out on. Oh, the guy getting crushed by the rolling pin. Oh, and the fucking guy who gets his face chopped to pieces by the propeller in the first one. I mean, that film was a fucking PG, for fuck's sake. It's one of the most gory. Those two films are arguably the most goriest PG film.
It shows you how much more of a
Question,
sensitive nation we've
what was
become.
the rating for Brain Dead and Bad Taste? Because there was gory as shit.
I think it was a 15.
Yeah, in the UK they're a 15. Like we're a lot more lenient on
I fucking
ratings.
love these movies. They're so trashy and gory.
Bad Taste's production value just ruined it for me. I couldn't appreciate it.
Bad Taste, they're both the Peter Jackson films.
Yeah, Peter Jackson, yeah.
Yeah, I loved them. Like, no. I don't know. I fucking love them.
Horror films in the 80s, man.
They were not horror. Come on, they were not horror. these were
No,
not
those
horror.
were, but
Those
I'm
fucking
just
parody.
talking about gore and things like that. I'm
But
just
horror,
reminiscing
oh, in
to
the 80s, oh, Argento
being
movies.
6 years old and
Fuck, they
watching
were
Nightmare on Elm
good.
Street. Oh man, those
Bad
were the days.
effects,
They always
man.
start becoming parodies, though. A lot of them,
Was that?
like
Yeah.
Freddy Krueger from a scary monster man with hands for blades and shit. Yeah, he just became a fucking laugh, didn't he? And then
Yes,
in the
because they refused to let the franchise die as it
Yeah.
should. We're
And they
going back to
rebooted
my
it.
first
Nobody even
fucking,
remembers the reboot.
I've always noticed that as films go along, by the time they into the third movie of a saga, like they start going for laughs, don't they? They always fucking do.
Yeah, they just ramp it
I
up
think they run out
to
of ideas,
I
just go
mean,
down the
here's
comedy
the
route.
thing though. Something that was scary as fuck in the early 80s, it's not gonna be scary today, because we've become
No.
desensitized, you know?
Yeah.
We need something a lot worse than Freddy fucking Krueger to scare the shit out of
Monster,
us.
you can't look. No monster
Like,
will scare you. No monster can scare you because we all know it's
not
not
true.
real.
Like, for many years I wasn't able like to be scared of movies. Like I watched like the Ring trilogy, the original one, when I was 17, alone in a dark room, and I was like fine. And you know,
Is that the
the
Japanese
thing
one
that
you watched?
actually got to me, I think that was around, I don't know, 2006 or something. Was
Yeah.
the
Did you watch the
descent,
Japanese versions?
the Japanese, of course, the Japanese versions.
Yeah.
Come on.
I was going to say
I
because
mean, yeah, but that's
it was a good
that's a bit more
adaptation, but
it's more psychological though, Chris. But like a scary monster place, like that doesn't do
Oh
it for
no,
me.
that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
What did it for me was in around 2006 when The Descent came out, and I watched that movie at the cinema. Even though it wasn't such a good movie, generally speaking, but these little monsters and the fucking shit that happened down there, I don't know if you guys, it kind of scared me, and I was like, whoa, I didn't expect that, because I wasn't easily scared back in the day.
yeah, fair
I mean,
enough.
I actually want my horror to be more like The Evil Dead now. I want it to be played for laughs. I'm not into the fucking scary,
Yeah,
more
I
serious
agree.
horror. I like my horror to be
I mean, I
comical.
don't
And
Yeah.
genre I
especially
like
The Evil
anymore
Dead is the
anyway.
funniest of the lot.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. You should watch that. I recommend it. Have you seen The Evil Dead, Roberto?
No,
No,
You
no,
should.
no, I don't do horror, even comedy horror. I don't.
Evil Dead 2 is one of the best comedy horrors you'll ever see, man.
Come on, there are some things that are just cult classics, and Evil Dead is among them. You have to watch
Yeah,
it.
Evil Dead is not a comedy horror. It is straight up horror. But Evil Dead 2 is a comedy horror, and so is Army of Darkness, which is its proper sequel.
Yeah. I don't know.
Sam
I don't consider
Raimi brought
Evil
the
Dead
comedy horror
serious
element into this.
horror either. Like, I mean, come on. She's being raped by a tree, man. By a fucking tree. Come on.
All the
Yeah.
Japanese were just sitting there like, oh my god, this is great porn.
Yeah. I was just still thinking more of the the Bruce Campbell parts, like when he's like smashing the plate on his head and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's making his own hand. He's crawling with his own arm and stuff and everything, and then he cuts his own hand off.
Oh, just fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it's just brilliant.
But I
Yeah,
mean,
even
like, horror for me, I won't watch horrors anymore because I try. There's nothing done. Oh look, it's Deadpool.
No, it's not Deadpool. It's Deathstroke.
Really, you think? Keep that on, man. That's awesome.
It's honest.
It's a
I
massive
don't think we'll be able
improvement.
to talk with it.
Dude, you guys couldn't hear me before. Do you think it'll be any better with this thing on?
Maybe
Yeah.
if you made like a
Maybe
mouth
drill a little
hole.
hole in the mouth
Yeah,
area.
make a mouth hole.
Yeah.
Now, I was going to say earlier before we went on a massive tangent. I wanted to talk about Terminator 6. Now, the first trailer I saw Terminator 6, I couldn't fucking stand it. I thought it looked absolutely awful. I thought to myself, what they're doing with this. But the second trailer looked a lot better. And I'm glad they showed a lot more Linda Hamilton in it. And I'm glad to see that she's back. I actually didn't realize how much of the badass Linda Hamilton I missed until I saw her again in that trailer. and I'm looking forward to seeing her kicking ass like she did in Terminator 2. Don't get me wrong, I'm not really looking forward to it that much, but overall, I will get round to some point in my life watching this movie, probably criticizing it as well, just to see Lyndall Hamilton back with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And if you guys looking forward to this movie,
No. Oh my god, no. Terminator should have died after the second one. How many more times is a cunt gonna come back and try to kill somebody? It's like Aliens. You can't fucking do anything more than it. It's Aliens. Oh my god, it's a Terminator. Oh my god, what are we gonna do? Fuck off. Die.
You're gonna watch it though, aren't you?
I'm not gonna fucking watch it. I haven't watched a single Terminator after Terminator 3. That fucking joke.
You never saw Terminator Salvation with Christian Bale?
Oh God, no! I hate the Terminator franchise after the third one.
But yeah, the problem with that movie.
I have no interest. It could be a good movie, but I have no interest in the premise. It's done. Anything after that,
they gave away the fucking twist in the trailer, which is one of the reasons why I fucking hate trailers so much. Mm-hmm. If they gave away so much of the trailer or all the actual story elements for some of these Avenger movies, I swear to God, they wouldn't be that good. Yeah.
Well, that's the good thing with the MCU is they completely give you completely opposite shit to what you expect.
Yeah, which is the best way to go into a film.
Yeah, Anyway, that's my thoughts on Terminator.
Let's talk about season 2. Did you see the trailer to that?
What?
The Titan season 2 trailer. Did you guys see that?
No.
Oh, it looks so good. I'm so excited. Titan
season. No, actually, I saw a review of the trailer, and what bugs me is that there's all this other shit going on in this trailer. Yet season 1 ended on a massive cliffhanger, and by the looks of this fucking trailer, they pretty much will probably deal with that cliffhanger pretty much in one episode. If what that trailer's got to go on. Because that trailer felt like it had nothing to do with the end of season 1. And that bugs me a lot. It really does.
Well, you never know.
You're not wrong on that account. I mean, they did end it pretty abruptly. Honestly, it felt like the end of season 1 was more like a mid-season finale. And really, they should have brought that story to a conclusion so then they could start this upcoming season. But I don't know. I mean, I think they're really taking a 180 turn because I think they fixed a lot of the things that were problems from season 1.
The finale was a fucking disgrace, man. It was a fucking disgrace.
I'll be honest. I gave up after the. They had that really good episode with the Doom Patrol, and then the episode after that, halfway through, I think after the two of them fuck. I was just like, this is so boring. I'm done with this show. So that's my 2 cents. But carry on, man. Don't worry about me.
I like season 1. So,
don't get me wrong. I'm done with season 1. I'll go to season 2 in case they've improved it.
Well, I mean, they got Deathstroke coming in, Superboy coming in. I mean, they've got like a lot of comic booky fan service stuff coming in that looks like it's going to be good. So, I mean, and I think that's what was missing from the first season was they were trying really hard for it to be a superhero drama, and now this time they're kind of just doing like, well, this is the Titans, so let's just go balls to the wall and let's get Superboy in there, let's get Deathstroke in there, let's get Ravager in there, they're actually kind of going like, we're going to do they're going to get Titan's Tower in season 2 sometime. And I mean, they're going to go for it. I think that's good.
That's what they should do. That's what we want. We don't want some grounded weird. Just
I need to basically talk about that fucking finale though, man. That was so annoying. I hate episodes like that. I really do. You have Raven being kidnapped by her dad and her mom, and she's been held in this house that looks like something from Evil Dead. And then Robin goes into that house, and that's how episode 8 ends. Now, I think episode 9 is the final episode of the season. And episode 9 begins as basically episode 9 is up to the very last minute. It is all just him living in a hallucination. So, and you realize that from the beginning, it's all a hallucination because where episode ends 8 and episode 9 begins, it's like there's two different things. So you realize it's immediate hallucination, and episode 9, the last minute, brings you back into the real world, into the real time, and it's only 1 minute in the real time, fucking 59 minutes into the hallucination. This is not what I wanted. I wanted him dealing with the fucking badasses. He didn't do that shit at all, you know. And it ends on a fucking stupid cliffhanger and a wasted finale. I fucking hated that finale. I hate episodes like that. Yeah, cop out, bad writing. Fucking hate that shit, man. Fucking hate it.
Zam is very passionate today.
Well, that's because he hasn't been smoking as much.
All right.
Yeah,
man,
Zam, go roll fatty, man.
I think I make up some good points, yeah, because I don't want shit like that.
No,
you know, to keep going with it. Keep going with what's going on. Like, I'm looking forward to Robin going into this cabin and dealing with all this shit, but no, you do a hallucination system instead. What the fuck? So
look, I get it. That I didn't like it either, but that didn't ruin the whole season for me. I mean, that's a different point of view. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying
it's only coming back to me now after watching the season 2 trailer and realizing that everything in that final episode has nothing to do with that fucking season 2 trailer I saw, and that's what makes me think to myself, shit, they're nipping that ending in the bud. They must be. And it's just ridiculous. Then, like, so what's the point of doing a very convoluted ending like that, and then just saying fuck all of that, and just we're going to do all of this shit instead? This is what season 2 has to offer. Like, fuck off. Seriously, fuck off, DC.
I think they just wanted to change direction. Then, from the sounds of it, it was just like, let's just fuck this. Season 1 was. I know people enjoyed it, but for me, I just found
that was a massive cliffhanger. Even though it was a convoluted episode, Ginge, it was a massive cliffhanger they left you on. It looks like they don't give a fuck about it.
It just looks like they're just going to cut their losses and move on and do a fan service, which is something that I've got to say, like, DC's, like, the films just fucking suck at doing that as well. They take these kind of weird things. So for Titans to kind of do whatever the fuck it tried to do in the first season, it was just stupid. So just forget that and move on, you know, bring it back to where it should be and stop trying to be whatever the fuck that first season was trying to be. So yeah, cut your losses and move on. I know it's frustrating, but sometimes, I think
DC's using legs everywhere, man. Like, before everyone just assumed, okay, their films are crap. But it's seeping into a few things now. I thought the Hush movie wasn't that great. The fucking Riddler was Hush. What the fuck is all that about? Sorry for giving away spoilers.
Yeah. Sorry, Jason?
I said spoiler alert. Come on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Their animations of lately, I think, they're not. I think was it Jason who said it or somebody that said it. They just their budget has gone down quite a bit on those. They don't advertise them as much. You know, you get like these last minute announcements. Yeah, I follow like Marvelous News and Toy News International, things like that, and that's where I get my information of the upcoming DC animated movies. Nowhere else kind of promotes them, and I think they just do a bad job promoting those films. So, and you end up with, like, you know, if you see around about, say, 6 years ago where those films were and where they are now, like the budget on them is just drastically changed. So yeah, you're right. Like even the animations have kind of dipping in quality, and enjoyment.
Well, the CW shows are all becoming crap. Even I love that shit more than life itself, and that shit's becoming crap now. You know, and it's heartbreaking. As somebody who's followed all of that shit, and just thinking to myself, damn, the quality's just not there. You know, you're running out of ideas.
On the CW shows, Jason.
Yes.
Jason loves the CW shows, don't you, Jason?
Oh, no, I do. I like the CW shows. I mean, I think it's good that Arrow's ending. When did we get on CW? What the heck?
No, we're just talking about DC.
No, we're just talking about Warner Brothers.
Oh, I mean, yeah, like, okay, so if we're going through the generic, the animated movies, I like a lot of them. I did not like Hush only because I know that they were trying to go in their own, like, a different direction with Hush because they wanted it to be, like, different and, like, a surprise. I just feel like that was the wrong move for that movie. Like, I really feel like that they should have stuck with the comic book.
Yeah.
But other movies that I enjoyed, like, stick really close to the line. Like, the animated movie Public Enemies was more or less along the lines of what the comic book did.
Yeah, but that's
one.
going back to when they were like, Public Enemies is quite a few years old now.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the earlier stuff. I'm saying up until about not even that long ago, because what was the one they did? They did the Constantine one, which was really good, and they did the Suicide Squad one, which was fantastic.
Hell to Pay?
Yeah, that one. That was excellent. And the ones after that, I just haven't enjoyed at all. Even the
I
Death
love, so
Superman
look,
ones.
here we go, because we agree all the time, Candy, or Ginger Greek or whatever you're called today.
Yeah, a different name every
I
fucking
love
time, man.
I really like the Death and Reign of Superman. Like I enjoyed those two movies. I enjoyed Flashpoint Paradox.
That's brilliant.
So good. That was so
Flashpoint
good.
Paradox is fantastic.
Absolutely brilliant.
So I can't say, because now there are some that have really missed with me. Like Gotham by Gaslight was really good up until the twist at the end. And I'm not going to spoiler it, but the person that turned out to be the Ripper I just thought it was lazy. And
okay, let's give it a spoiler actually, because I actually kind of figured it out before it was revealed. I think I figured out maybe a good 30 seconds before it was revealed, but I'm going to give the spoiler away. It was Jim Gordon. He was Jack the Ripper. It was interesting in the way them doing it that way. It came very from left field. But yeah, I just thought Gotham by Gaslight overall was pretty average, just generally. I like them trying different things with Batman, but you know what? There's so many fucking superheroes. Try some shit with them instead.
To be fair, I'm looking at the list now, and the only ones I haven't enjoyed recently was obviously the two Superman ones, the Batman and Harley Quinn, Justice League versus the Fatal Five, and Hush. They were the ones I didn't like, and they're all been the more
ones.
Literally the more recent ones within the last 2 years.
Flashpoint was years ago now, more 5 years or so. It's a long time ago.
Everything after the Judas contract has only been like held to pay that I've really enjoyed.
See, I like both the Teen Titans. I like the Justice League versus Teen Titans, and I love the Judas contract one.
Right. Yeah, great.
Here, I'll tell you guys.
Oh, you're breaking up, Roberto.
I'm kind of like a spreadsheet kind of store, so I'm going to tell you like my top five. Because my top five DC animated is Judas Contract, Batman, Superman, Public Enemies, Death of Superman, Batman Under the Red Hood, and Flashpoint are my top five. So
mine would be Under the Red Hood is my number one. Hang on. Dark Knight Returns, both of them. Assault on Arkham, I really loved.
Yeah,
yes.
Flashpoint will be in there.
Flashpoint, and there was one more.
Justice League one.
I think it was Justice League Doom or War, one of them two.
Doom was really good. I like Justice League Doom.
Yeah,
that was a good period. That's when they were like running really well, but unfortunately, the world's kind of run a bit dry for DC.
Yeah,
I don't like the idea of making Harley Quinn an anti-hero. I'm not feeling that at all. I like her being a villain personally, because it's a tragic situation of this shrink, this PhD fucking losing her marbles and becoming some fucking scrawny sidekick for a madman. It's fascinating. That's more interesting than her becoming some fucking anti-hero. Nah, I'm not feeling that at all. I don't want that.
I don't mind.
She's a bad person, man.
I just like her in the Suicide Squad. That's where I like Harley Quinn.
But even then, like I said, the way they used her in Suicide Squad, the Will Smith one.
No, fuck's sake! I'm talking about
Assault and Arkham then.
Yeah.
Oh God, even I can keep up with what they're talking about. They're talking about the animated ones, not live action.
Yeah, the animated ones, man, not the bloody shitty film. I don't give a shit about that film.
Yeah.
I did like Harley Quinn's costume in that.
The perfect casting with Margot Robbie, but what annoyed me the most is that they made a valid reason why Harley Quinn, who's actually a useless person when it comes to fighting, why she was involved in the Assault on Arkham, because she used to be a shrink there. but because they couldn't use that argument in Suicide Squad, and it annoys me because why some dumb bitch like her, with these people because she's fucking useless. But they made her out to be a better fighter than she should be. I've always said with Harley Quinn that they should give her a backstory that she was like an Olympic gymnast or something like that. That can explain her fucking backflips and shit that you see her do now and again when it comes to her combat.
She could be used as a distraction, That's a legit tactic, man.
Yeah.
I'm distracted.
Mate, she killed that guard. She killed that guard by doing that crush thing like that, like in GoldenEye. She crushed him with the thighs and stuff, and like, how's she doing this? She's just a fucking shrink.
What? Okay, so let me get this straight. So if you're a shrink, you can't have like a lower body strength or something.
I'm just saying that they should explain this. They should explain this. They should explain this. Give her some backstory, like she was like a gymnast or something like that. Make it more plausible that how this woman, who fell for the fucking charms of a madman, it ended up like this. I want to know more, because you think to yourself, how is she able to do this?
Read the fucking comics then.
Sorry?
Read the comics then.
I'm talking about the movies. In the movies.
The fucking movies, man.
What are you talking about, man? Jesus.
Movies.
I'm just talking about these movies.
Okay, guys. Okay. Enough with the Suicide Squad and the fucking.
I can't hear you now.
Okay, we're going to talk about Cyberpunk. Fuck you.
All right, let's do it.
Because I have I'm gonna be streaming the thing while we talk about it. If I manage to. There we go.
Oh, are we gonna get demonetized for that? Or?
Fuck you, Peanut, you cunt. Calling me a knobhead.
What are you talking about? Oh shit, but it has sound.
You alright?
Okay, now it doesn't have sound.
No, fuck you, mate.
See,
fucking hell. Your fault, man.
I can do that because I'm cool.
So this fucking Peanut is.
You guys can't do that because you're not cool.
Go for it, Christine. All yours, mate.
So yeah, I'm fucking super excited.
Actually call me a fucking knob, but I'm fucking glad I spoiled. I'll fucking spoil it again for that fucking cunt.
What the fuck is he talking about?
I don't know. I've just been called a knobhead.
Come on, dude. We moved on. I'm like super excited.
Let's make the people watching the stream mad. Yeah, let's do it.
Oh yeah, but they just fucking insulted me first, for fuck's sake. What are you having a go at me for?
How is he insulting you? What?
Why are you so anti today, Zam?
Jesus Christ, man. He called you a knobhead. Big deal. I get called a fat cunt all the time.
I'm responding to Roberto, Ginger. Don't get yourself involved. All right.
Get on with it.
You're super offended today, man. Take a chill pill. Eat a Snickers.
I don't do nuts. All right.
Maybe that's your problem, mate.
No. All right, go with your fucking stupid Cyberpunk.
Oh, Zam had his feelings hurt, guys.
I'm fucking doing something right now. Come on, hurry up.
But yeah, anyway, I'm super excited, especially with the options that we're gonna get, because I really like that stealthy, sneaky shit. It reminds me of fucking BioShock, and I'm loving it. And I love the customization options. Man, this game is gonna be super.
Okay, firstly, it's a first-person game. Who gives a fuck about the customization? Nobody's gonna see it.
There's still cutscenes and shit like that. Like, okay, like they said from the start, it might be a first person. That there's gonna be plenty of chances where you get to look at your character. Okay.
Yeah, riding a bike.
No, like cutscenes and shit like that, and
there's
probably gonna be many cutscenes. I expect this game to be very long.
Yeah, very fluid. And most cutscenes, you're probably gonna be looking at it from first person point of view.
Probably not.
Well,
who is Keanu Reeves supposed to be in this game? Is he like Keanu Reeves?
He is Johnny Silverhand.
Yeah.
he's basically he's a projected image within you. So he's just talking to you. Nobody else can see him.
Oh, I get that all the time. I don't need any cyber.
He's a bit like Al from Quantum Leap.
Yeah, yeah, exactly like that. um, so yeah, I mean, look, the premise looks good. What you could do is good. I'm not going to talk about my hang-ups on you know what, but I like the amount of stuff you could do in it. Yeah, you can pick. You can like be a guns blazing type of person, or you could be you can go in stealthily and you can use you can hack into machines that could do a lot of the work
Remotely
for you.
too, you know. But
Say it again.
remotely hack. But yeah, what I
Yeah.
like the most, I think, is the fact that you can customize not only the character but also the skill trees. Like this kind of takes me back to what actually Bethesda games offer in terms of how your character is created, and Bethesda is gonna be left behind and buried, dead and buried, pretty much after this is done, because this is gonna, you know, take things to a
Yeah.
whole other level, I believe, because that's the one thing that Bethesda had over any other. If it's being done and it's done better, man, that's it. Like fucking final fucking nail on Bethesda's coffin. Honestly,
Well,
I
and the thing
wish.
on sorry, no, sorry, it's
No,
fine.
go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, and the thing with CD Projekt Red and their reputation is they're not just gonna fucking piss about and monetize everything like Bethesda have done.
Mhm.
So you're absolutely right in that they're just gonna knock them out of the park. Yeah, it's a kill shot, which brings me on to. I'll make the point later about what's been going on behind the scenes with Cyberpunk, not the company, everything else. But if you want to talk more about the game,
Oh no, you can go
Christine.
ahead and rant.
Right. So yeah, one of the things I want to talk about this game and some of the dirty, shitty fucking tactics that have been employed by. Hang on, I need more lighting because it's getting a bit dark here. So bear with me. Um,
I just,
one
I just
sec.
want to tell you guys one thing.
Yeah.
You're breathtaking.
Thanks. You're breathtaking. So basically, so there's been this media onslaught against this game. There was like a poster of a person with a huge, she's like, looks like a woman, but has like a huge dick kind of thing. And
Yeah, I
they
loved
just
it.
went fucking crazy, calling it transphobic. You know, the usual fucking pissy twats that are going to get offended over everything. However, usually what would happen then is you'd have a company that comes out and yields and apologizes, and that'll be it. You move on. CD Projekt Red did not come out and apologize, even doubling down and explaining it in a Reddit thing about the whole game and why the decision was and all of that, which further triggered people. However, this in fact it even went as far as these fucking guys coming in and trying to explain Cyberpunk, even going as far as was shutting down the bloody creator of the Cyberpunk universe over his decision to like certain gangs that are called Voodoo Boys and Animals and all this kind of stuff. And the Cyberpunk creator, who is black, comes in and is like, "Well, this is my property. I've got no issues with what CD Projekt Red are doing," and people couldn't even accept his own opinion, his own art.
Oh, honey. Like the same thing is happening with the Witcher series.
Yeah,
The
exactly,
same fucking
exactly,
thing with the fucking
exactly.
race shit. Like the creator of the fucking books, the writer of the books is okay with the decisions that are made about the casting, and they found it like, no, why is this person darker than me? Like,
Yeah,
fuck off. And if a
it's
chick
fucking.
wants to have a huge ass cock, I'll take it.
I bet
You
you
know?
would. Um, but you see what's happened. But what's happening with like with CD Projekt Red is a lot of big games companies see Cyberpunk as a legitimate threat to their stuff because they know this game is going to be huge and because user spendage is not as big like as it once was, you know, a lot of people are just going to buy this. They don't have to spend extra money on microtransactions and all this. So there's a fear by the games companies that this game's going to take up a lot of people's time. And then when you dug in deeper, there's a guy called Legacy Killer HD, an excellent channel on YouTube, and he dug deep onto these journalists that have been attacking this game relentlessly. And it's found that a lot of the companies that they work for are actually owned by companies, or they have shares in by companies like Activision and EA and Blizzard and fucking all these kind of Take Two Interactive and all this kind of shit. So there's
I don't
like
have
this,
a hard time believing that, honestly, because
yeah.
it's like
So they're
I
trying their
believe
best.
this game is going to be a game changer, pun intended, for the whole industry. I believe. Like after this
I'm not
is
gonna go that
out,
far, but it's
well,
gonna blow people
I
away.
want to, at least I want to believe that it's going to be.
Yeah. I don't think it will, but what it will do is it's gonna take up a lot of attention away, especially when you got all the fucking annual generic shit like FIFA and Call of Duty coming out, all the same shit. All of a sudden, you have this massive behemoth coming out, and it's a huge game, and it's not going to be, again, it's not a live services type game where you have to fucking keep feeding into it. They're just going to be doing the updates all free of charge, all this kind of crap. And the big companies see that as a threat. They see that as a threat for some
Well,
stupid
of
reason. So there's been
course,
this relentless
it raises the
onslaught.
bar, man, a lot.
It does. Of course it does for
And
them, because
they
then they're
don't
like,
want the
oh, for
bar
fuck's sake,
raised because they want
here
to
comes,
be, selling the same
yeah,
shit over and over again, selling you the same
exactly.
shit. And oh, you want a different color shoes to go with your thing? Pay, bitch, pay. Oops,
Exactly.
we lost Jason.
Oh,
Oh, he'll be back.
so yeah, because of that, yeah, they see this as a threat, and you know, never underestimate the the power of these big fucking corporations to try and shit on a little guy. And because you can't affect, like, let's say for example, so usually what would happen is if some shit like this happened where you attacked, if the social justice warriors attacked this game for the bloody poster and label them transphobic and all this kind of shit, what would usually happen is your stock will
I
take
don't see
a bit of a
how
hit.
it would be transphobic. I would more see it as trans accepting, if anything. I mean, the show, like,
It's
chick
not
with a
even remotely
humongous cock.
transphobic.
Yeah, not even close. Like,
It's not
okay,
even
the
close.
opposite.
Not
The
even, yeah,
opposite. It's the opposite.
exactly.
Actually.
It's the absolute opposite. It's more about saying, hey, yes, I look like a woman, but I have a dick. Big fucking deal
And
with it,
it's
kind of thing.
huge.
Yeah, it's like deal with it. There you go.
Yeah, deal with it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but because they're like, that's why like companies like Bethesda and companies like CD Projekt Red, they don't get as affected by the outrage because they're privately owned. Whereas companies like EA and Activision, any more small misstep, and you see what happens to their stock, it takes a plummet. Uh, uh, and that, so they have to resort to dirty tactics like using the media to kind of attack it, to kind of get this cancel culture on it. But it's having the opposite effect. They're going to fail miserably. This game is going to sell like fucking crazy. Even I'm going to buy it. Not that it matters what I'm gonna do, but yeah, I just want to gauge your people's thoughts on that.
I don't think Zam's gonna buy it because he's a cheap motherfucker.
Well, I'm not gonna buy it first day because I'm a cheap motherfucker as well.
I'm gonna wait for reviews
I'm gonna fucking
before
pre-order it,
before I get
bitch.
it.
You gotta no, don't
You're gonna
pre-order.
pre-order?
CD
No,
Projekt Red games are the only ones I pre-order because they matter. And actually, I would also suggest to buy it from GOG instead of Steam, so that the company gets the full.
oh well, we'll get it on PlayStation, so we're not
Well,
elitist like you.
hey, I'm not elitist. I'm just part of the master race.
That's the one. That's the elitist class, yeah. But yeah, I think I just like. I mean, from what I've seen, it's fine. Again, it definitely would have been better in first person, but yeah, I get it. But it'll be on the cheap. I can't afford full price games. at the moment. Um,
I mean, sell a kidney, man. You have two of them.
what's that?
Sell a kidney.
Yeah,
You have two of them.
yeah, still a kidney. I should just about be able to afford a Take Two interactive game with all the fucking bullshit they're doing. My God. But game. We've talked before about other games and their microtransactions, but I just wanted to talk about the cyberpunk and the shenanigans going on behind the scenes with this game, and it's nice to see that CD Projekt Red are holding ground. There was another outrage from the opposite crowd about the characters not having a defined gender. They've got like a male body type and a female body type. And people are like, oh my god, I need to be told I'm a he or a she or a him or a... It's like, calm the fuck down, dude. It's 2077.
I mean, yeah,
Look,
who gives
look
a
at the strides we're
fuck?
making now with gender identity. You
Like,
think
seriously, you're
it's
not a
gonna?
he or a she, you're a cyborg. Deal with
Yeah,
it.
exactly, exactly.
That's the future,
So
man.
yeah, or human augmentation is 100% the future. That's
Yeah,
just a
I
reality. Unless we
totally.
could do it on a genetic level.
Well, I think that the best would be somewhere in between.
Yeah.
In all honesty, uh, we can probably, uh, do the thing with telomeres and just make them infinite so we don't get old. But we still can get killed, so why not just replace parts with, mechanical
Yeah,
parts? But,
exactly.
like, transhumanism is the fucking future, man. I keep saying this, not because I'm playing a cyborg on my mage
No, but
game,
but
but
it's true.
partly.
It is transhumanism. You know, passing. They're getting to a point nearly where they can like read your thoughts or some shit like that in a computer or like the waves of it.
I mean, yeah,
It
like the
won't be long.
best
Like
thing would be it's
immortality
attainable.
is
It's
it's
attainable, but
it's
in
obtainable.
theory,
It is.
because we
Yeah.
still have to figure out a way to, be able to. Pretty much, if you're gonna upload your whole brain in a machine, you can technically still be alive if your brain is still there. Now, mind you,
Yeah.
how do you make a mechanical brain create new synapses and keep going on as an actual
Well, no,
biological brain?
they won't
I don't know, but I'm not a scientist. They have to
they
figure
won't
it
need to
out.
make a mechanical brain. That's the thing. Like they grow all this shit. Look, in 100 years' time, people are going to be laughing at what we've been talking about. They're like, oh, look at
Like,
them mechanical
yeah, I
brain.
hope I'll be a cyborg or gonna be alive to laugh with them. If
Yeah, that would
possible,
be
but
great.
yeah, I don't think so because these things take money and well, we need to crush capitalism first.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
Move away
because
from it. Do
yeah,
a Star Trek.
not move away from it, crash it with our
That's
boots.
what I said. Move. I crash it with our boots. Yes.
Yes.
Don't get your boots on. We're going to crash capitalism.
Yeah.
I'll be fucked.
Brilliant. Anyway, I think that brings it to a good end.
You're not gonna fucking ask me for my goddamn opinion on this shitty game.
Zam, what's your opinion on this shitty
No,
fucking
I
game?
ain't got fucking- honestly, I don't have a fucking opinion.
What a dingus.
No, you know,
Ah,
Uh,
this game, it just looks so average. It's, from looking at it, skill trees, that's great. Seen that before. Ubisoft, yeah, follow people around, fetch quests. It looks like it's like not. I've seen all this shit before. I don't know why people are so blown away.
because you're a casual.
I think it's just because it's CD Project Red. Like again, for me, like I said, I'll get this, but on the cheap. Um, yeah,
Well, I'm gonna be playing it on day one, you
we're never
bitches.
going to see you again, are we, Christine?
Probably,
When
like,
that
I'll be
comes
gone
out.
for 2 years. Forget
Yeah.
about me.
No, the game doesn't live up to your expectations, Chris.
Look, my expectations are based on, prior experiences with the company. Because I've been following them for many years now, and I can bet you right now that I won't be disappointed by it. And it's not because of the hype, because I do have high expectations and the bar is high. So if the expectations are not met, I'm gonna tell you so. but I don't expect
Yeah, fair
to
enough.
be disappointed.
Yeah, fair enough. All
Facts,
right, that's
man.
it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, Jason's back.
All right.
Do you
It's a
have any
super
opinion
the internet.
contribute about Cyberpunk 2077, Jason?
Um, I mean, graphics look great. I was kind of watching the what you were showing on there. Premise looks nice and dark and kind of whatever, which is good.
Blade Runner.
I do not like first-person shooters, so that really turned me on to that whole thing. I know you guys were talking about on motorcycles. You can see them. Yeah, okay, well,
Okay, you kind
whatever.
of like Decepticon there.
Yeah, breaking up a bit, dude.
Oh,
Robot voice.
um, I was just basically saying I'm not a big first person shooter. I'm not, but the graphics look great. I mean, the tone looks great. I mean, maybe if a friend is playing it, I might try it out a little bit. I mean, because I never thought I'd like Assassin's Creed, and then Zam turned me onto that, and
Oh,
then I
I knew I'd like Assassin's Creed from the first time I saw a trailer for the first fucking game. I knew I would love it.
Yeah,
I,
definitely.
Yeah,
I didn't know I would like first person games, but then I played like Bioshock and Deus Ex, and Cyberpunk is going to be like the two of them married and having a really pretty, cute ass, badass baby that's great. You know, that's how
Yep.
I see it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh man, I need to replay Bioshock.
All right, I am done, guys. I don't know about you lot,
I
Jason,
got one
unless you
more thing
want.
to say. It's I posted that video today of Angry Joe and the monetization. Now, if I really hope you guys saw that video because it was an absolute disgrace
I am done,
regarding
guys.
the monetization. They've actually put casino gambling in a game that is made for 3-year-olds, where you can play slot machines and God knows what to open up packs. They really are not giving a fuck about monetizations in games. It's an absolute disgrace.
Yeah, I saw that. Frankly, I find that the basketball's getting in the way of the gambling in that game. If we're
Yeah,
being
yeah,
honest. Look, we've talked already about in previous live
yeah.
streams
But
about.
that game was like another level, man. I mean, I can understand why Joe made a video like they've never really tried to hint at gambling, but this one, oh fuck it, we're gonna put Vegas in this goddamn game. I mean, it's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
I mean the CEO of Take Two, I forget his name. Is it Strauss Zelnick or some shit like that? Has even been caught saying that he thought that GTA wasn't monetized enough. So the fact that NBA has gone down this route, and if people are happy are excited for GTA 6, I want to punch those motherfuckers in the face because it's gonna be on another level of fucking country
It's gonna
when it
look
comes to
bad.
monetization. All right. I mean, I don't rate Rockstar Games anyway. They used to be my absolute most favorite company. And then GTA 4 came out, and I was just like, this is
GTA
just such a
4.
cute GTA 4 back
Okay.
since then. GTA 4, I just found
Vice
it
City.
disappointing.
Haven't
A good
played since San
story,
Andreas,
but
honestly.
the gameplay mechanics for me are just crap.
That's
Um,
the that's the one thing. Going back to Cyberpunk, but I do think for sure, just looking at that bit of gameplay, that the story will be one of its saving graces. For whatever negativity it will definitely have a good story for
Well,
sure.
the books are fantastic. So
Yeah,
it's got a whole lore behind it. So yeah, if they fail to pull off the
there are several
books,
books. There
huh?
was Cyberpunk 2020, weren't they, back in the day?
20, yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
2020.
2022, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
That didn't
he made them
So
in
happen.
the 80s.
yeah, um, yeah. I mean, I could talk about like games and their monetization here, but Take Two, it just doesn't surprise me. And this was a huge fuck you as well to say, look, governments that we've paid off through the ESRB are clearly going to take our side on this. It's not gambling, So we're just going to ramp up the gambling. And it's going to get worse. And the sad reality is, there's only despite how many videos there are on YouTube and all this kind of shit, we're still only a vocal minority that are against these kind of practices. The filthy casuals are just far too fucking strong and do not give a shit about these kind of gross monetizations,
They don't
because
see
they're
the bigger
too
picture.
dumb to realize that, hey, I could do something about this by simply not buying the fucking game. But
I tell people this, whenever I'm gaming online, I tell people that like Randy Orton's got fucking. There's a guy I play with Roberto, if you're wondering. His name is Randy Orton, and he is pre-ordered FIFA 20. Like, why?
yeah,
Why?
so
Why are you pre-ordering
he
that game?
epitomizes everything I hate about gamers.
Why
Everything
that game of
pre-orders,
all the
special
fucking
editions. He did it with Black Ops 4 and all this. It's like, but people like him are not are the majority. Sadly, that's the reality. This fucking culture of fear of missing out is just ridiculous. Like, what are you going to miss out on? The same shit you get every fucking year? It's like,
I even expect maybe younger gamers to be a bit more skeptical now. Like, come on, surely all this shit is not evolving too much in front of your eyes. I mean, it's been the same shit for years. Maybe
well,
just a prettier version of the same shit.
they're just stealing. They're just stealing mum's credit cards. I speak from personal experience here. My own godson ran up a £3,000 bill. Okay, two separate occasions of money on fucking FIFA and Fortnite. It's fucking ridiculous. £750 on two separate occasions on FIFA, and then the rest was on Fortnite. And I'm like, this is what happened. And they're like, well, why didn't she stop it? He took a picture of her credit card, so she had no idea.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous. Like, in my opinion, although it's creepy, that you really should have a camera on your when gaming. If it recognizes a child's face, then just or voice recognition, so it locks any kind of purchase mechanics. Like, you have to enter creepy territory of technology in order to stop dumb fucking kids from doing what they're doing. I mean, in the UK, it's a huge problem. It was even in the BBC News about how many people have run up thousands of pounds in debt because it preys on that kind of the predatory practices are no different to the gambling mechanics, and it's easier to access than it is a casino. And because there's a game behind it, you think you're getting actual value from it, and before you know it, you've pissed away £2,000. So,
and because of this is doing so well financially for corporations, they don't want to progress in making better games and making things more spectacular.
yeah,
This is
exactly.
this sort of fucking fetch quest shit sort of gaming is ideal for them.
Yeah,
They're happy for that. Just butter it up and change it here and there, but keep things the same really, and just monetize the fuck out of it every year. I mean,
and
I sometimes
monetize it even worse every
the
year.
casuals are gonna buy the same shit and
Yeah.
eat it up.
Yeah, it
Fucking
falls down to the
casuals.
film thing, copy and paste society.
Jason
Yeah, go on,
needs to-
Jason.
yeah. You're muted, mate.
You're muted, fella.
You're muted.
Sorry. No, I said I'm a filthy casual. I buy this stupid shit with different skins. Guilty. Sorry.
You piece of human poop.
Now this is where I would love to bring in Block into this, because he says that corporations should be allowed to do what the fuck they want, and it's up to us not to buy this shit. That was his argument. And then when I tell him about kids, fucking stealing credit cards and stuff, his argument is now, come on, Zam, you're going to using kids now for your argument? You know what I mean? Like,
But it's true.
Yeah,
Well,
you know what I mean?
my
It's
argument
pretty-
is people are inherently stupid because, yes, they need to be protected from themselves. So,
Pretty much,
yeah,
yeah.
corporations need to be regulated because if left unchecked, that's what happens.
If you leave them unchecked, they
let's
will
crush
literally steal
capitalism.
your democracy, which
Yeah.
is what is happening.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Daniel Block is a fucking idiot libertarian.
Can we not?
And if I had him on here, my brain
Can we
would melt.
not talk
We have
about
to have him on here
people?
to talk about
Can
this.
we not
Oh,
talk
that's
about
fine.
people like that on the stream,
Sorry.
please? Like,
It just
yeah, come on.
fucking. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
It's
that
so
was a bit
it's
far,
so
Jim.
Yeah, I
uncouth.
take that back. Well, I don't take it back, but it's not right. I
It's
shouldn't
not
really.
uncouth. We need
Yeah.
to get Glock here so we can
We're supposed to be dignified.
I only brought him up
pummel
because
him publicly in Twitter.
I only brought him up because he has a different opinion to us on regarding this particular issue.
I mean,
You know,
yeah,
he's fine
people are
leaving it.
allowed.
He's happy with all this shit being unregulated and them doing what they want, and it's just up to us to make sure that we don't, that shit doesn't go astray. But
Yeah,
it
look,
never
I
seems to
hear
never that
you.
straightforward because they're purposely making it difficult for us.
People
They're
are
making it
allowed
difficult
to
for
have
us.
different opinions, but we shouldn't be bringing up people that are not here to defend themselves. Because it's not right.
Well, I'll say it to his face. I don't care.
Yeah, well, when we get him here, we can all, give him a political
Yeah, it's fine.
bukkake, let's say. So,
But I shouldn't have said what I said. That was naughty.
Yeah, look, I
that
wasn't.
was
Look, this for
very
me was.
naughty.
Look, I wasn't going. I didn't want to start a bitching session about this guy. I was just saying that he's one person I know who has a different opinion. That's all I wanted to. That's really what I wanted to nail it on. That's all.
The counter argument to that would also be that, well, it's actually affecting games in that they're just not fun anymore. They're either grindy pieces of shit or they're half-assed, and it's stifling innovation and creativity. So when you heavily focus on monetization, you really don't need to do much. You just keep shit the same, and
Yeah, they don't care about quality.
Which is
they
why
don't care about quality.
which is why I'm basically reviewing with my wallet. Yeah, if it's worth buying something like, for instance, the Spider-Man game,
What
worth
are you
every fucking penny.
doing, Jason? Why is your screen on the stream down there? Should I add it?
I'm trying to do something.
Okay, I want to try that.
Ooh.
Holy shit! What are you doing,
Nice.
man?
Production
Listen,
values.
Okay, this is weird.
Oh my God.
This is weird.
look, I'm trying something. I don't know.
Right.
Shit, man.
Did it go?
Yeah, you don't see?
Yeah, we can see Captain America.
Yeah, America's ass
But we did so that
in all its glory.
this isn't freedom. This is fear. Shield taker.
I was basically trying to say this isn't freedom, this is fear. So at first I don't know how to turn the volume up on it on the stream, but okay, never mind. Get rid of it. I get rid of it. There we go.
Yeah, okay.
I'm trying. Why'd
Holy
come back?
shit, what the hell? I removed it. What the hell? Oh my god, it doesn't go away. Okay, it went up. Okay.
It's having a spasm. You see, they've taken over the machines.
Yeah, the machines are taking over.
That's America's
We're all
ass.
gonna die. Sorry, no.
I was trying to do Captain America. Say, this isn't freedom. This is fear.
Oh, someone telling me hi. Who's telling me hi? I can see who you
That's
are.
me.
Because,
Me.
yeah.
I was just checking on my
Oh,
phone
you
for the first
fucking
time.
asshat. Why? I was happy
I just
that
wondered if it
someone was
worked.
telling me hi and it was just you.
Yeah, I know.
Oh no, it's Brandon. Hi, Brandon.
Who the fuck is Brandon?
Brandon is a
Not one of
friend
your
of
friends.
mine.
He's all of them away.
He's actually my DM in my Dragon Age game and my Mage game that I'm playing. Yeah, you guys don't know because you're not real nerds, so you don't
Wait,
know about.
PM, is that like a dickmonger or I don't know what is that?
What about Dick?
Oh, what?
I don't know. I heard Dick. Didn't
Oh,
you say Dick?
I said, what does DM stand for? Dickmonger?
No, DM is a dungeon master.
Oh,
Not the kinky kind.
Yeah, right.
I'm a dungeon master too.
I bet you are. But keep your
Yeah,
married life
but
off
you
the
are
stream, mate. We don't
spanky,
want to know.
Whatever. Actually, I think it would probably be more appropriate to call him like a game master, like a GM, and an ST, storyteller. Yeah, I've seen that.
What is that?
You like it?
Make it out.
Ah, brilliant.
All right.
It looks like Poseidon taking a shit on a rock or something. I can't tell.
It was a house.
Somebody takes a shit in the sea, and then Poseidon's like, "Oh yeah, shit in my home, I'll shit on yours."
Who takes a shit
Oh,
in the
okay,
sea,
okay,
man?
okay.
Like that's gross. Like why?
I've
Why?
shit myself in the
Oh,
sea, but that was
Yeah, but
there's a
you're not
Poseidon
really
shit in the
human
sea.
though.
yeah, it's just true. I was about 12 years old. Blah blah blah. You don't need more details.
Yeah,
Or does
I really
Poseidon not shit
don't.
because he's a god?
But I was out really deep, so it's all fine.
Like what? It was such a
Wrap
big
it up.
emergency that you couldn't swim out.
I was too far out. I was really like deep in, like God knows how far away from the coast, and then all of a sudden just had a tummy rumble. I tried to swim back, but I was like, nah, I'll just stay out here in the deep and whatever.
So you
And
pooped in the sea and then you proceeded to swim in your poo.
I swam away as I was doing it. And I just carried on swimming. I
Oh
did
man,
not go back to the
like
coast.
a jet turbine.
Yeah.
You went to shore so fast. Yeah,
Uh,
methane
yeah, I just
fueled.
carried on after. I was like, I'm too far in now.
Oh my god. Ah,
So it was, yeah. I had
Very good.
fucking, I had flip, I
okay.
had like, what do you call it, Batrachopedila and mascot. I don't even know how to say that stuff
Yeah,
in fucking English.
flippers. Yeah, like
Yeah, flippers and a
flippers.
mask on. So I was like, oh, too far gone.
Snorkeling equipment.
Snorkel, yeah,
Yeah.
that was it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
I've
looking,
done that. I've done that.
I was,
It's lovely.
I was looking for clams
He
and shit. There was nothing.
was looking for clams.
Yeah, found nothing.
Ah.
Then I just found a couple of floaters.
Fuck yeah.
Like, oh man, that one's got some corn in it.
Oh jeez.
All
Yeah.
right, should we call it a day?
That's a good
Yeah.
way to
Give
end the
me a
stream.
second, because I'm doing something. I'm doing something. I'm gonna be done doing the something, and then we'll end it because I need to
Okay,
do
no
that.
problem. Yeah, that's fine. We're still all in the practice stage of everything. So,
You're in the practice stage. I'm a pro.
all right.
Takes a big dump under the sea. Ginger, Greek, panty.
Okay. Okay.
Who's lacking fiber?
Stop it.
You
Stop
sea
the stream.
pooper. You're a sea
Robert.
pooper, man.
Oh God.
So, yeah, here's what I did. I did the thing.
Aw, that's my sign.
Yes, I did the thing.
Nice.
Well, yeah, because we're official.
That's right.
Like,
We're official.
Yeah, we're officially official. Like,
Yeah.
top.
Where'd you get that sign from, Jason?
Huh?
How'd you get that? You make it yourself?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Just don't look it up online.
Okay, if we are we violating copyrights here? Because if we're violating
No.
copyrights, dude, you're the one
anything,
paying. Because I ain't got any money. I'm
If
moneyless,
anything,
penniless.
whoever made the thing probably is going to get hit by NASA. 'Cause that's the NASA logo with the word nerd on it.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it is. So
It's got.
yeah.
It's quite spacey. I feel like I'm going to a museum,
Space.
like the planetarium or something when I see it. I like it.
Yeah. It's a nice logo. It doesn't need changing. It's established now after all
Yeah.
these years.
I mean, I could improve it if you want.
Ooh, send me some drafts. I like it.
It's up to you,
Well,
man.
if I'm not bored, I'm gonna work on it.
Okay. I'm all down. I mean, as I said, I just kind of pulled that off the internet when I first started Nerd Nation, and I was like, "Hey, it's the NASA logo with nerd on it."
Yeah, and
Hey,
the nation has
I like NASA.
grown.
Is that really the NASA logo with nerd on it? Is that how it looks? That's how it
Yeah,
is?
Yep,
that's
yep.
yeah.
Okay, I had no
Yeah.
idea. I've fucking been to fucking NASA as well as Kennedy Space
Have
Center.
you?
Kennedy Space Center, sorry.
Nice.
Show off.
Kennedy Space Center, which is NASA still. It's NASA associated. I can't remember that. I can't remember the logo being like that, but I was very young.
Oh, fair enough.
You were also very high, probably. But
No,
anyway,
definitely not.
I think we should wrap things up.
Yep,
So
sounds good.
yeah, thanks
I've already wrapped
everyone
things
for
up.
your input. Zam,
Thank you all. Yeah.
smoke more weed next time. You're too passionate without it, and getting too offended when you're called
Get
a
do a
I'm
drug
really
knobhead.
stream
offended.
one
I'm
day
just
as
Because we
well.
love
disagreeing.
calling you a knobhead. We love it. You have to
I'm
be
gonna ban that fucker, by the way, once we finish this. By the way, I'm blocking his ass.
Now don't fucking block him.
This is some fucking dickhead burn on YouTube. Just call me
Doesn't
knobhead.
matter. Don't block anyone just because they call you a knobhead. Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
maybe I
cares?
could do something else as well
Zam,
afterwards. So fuck
Yeah,
it.
honey,
so
grow a
what?
thicker skin,
At
god
least I put him
damn
on
it.
timeout.
You've been on the internet for like how many years and you still don't like strangers
Mate, I
saying
don't want
anything
to
to
be
you.
insulted just like that because I gave away a fucking thing. I got called a knobhead.
Yeah, but so what? I
It's
call
not an
people fucking
insult.
assholes and
Yeah, but that's
for
if you know
spoiling
him.
shit like Star Wars for me.
Come on, knobhead
Fair
is not
enough.
an insult
Jesus
even.
Christ, man.
All
Seriously,
right,
bring it
fine.
in.
I'll let him off the hook. But if he insults me again, he's gone.
My God, that is so tame compared to the shit that I've had to put up with over the years and still do on
Fair enough.
Twitter. You just
Yeah,
gotta
man.
Yeah,
You
act
want
like
to
people
you
call
love
you
it,
you
want
a
man. Be the
to
bigger
tampon.
man.
Anyway,
if you
let's
can
wrap
do a
this up
podcast,
because
man.
nobody wants to listen about some rando calling you knobhead, okay? Like, okay,
Exactly.
thank
All
you
right,
for
guys. See you
participating in the
later.
talks
All
and for
right.
the people who watched and tolerate us because we're fucking fuck sticks. Anyway, yeah. See you next week.
Bye.